maybe maybe something that would be interesting to talk to you about, seeing as this is something that you've definitely been involved with, is your I guess your journey with starting up a business and entrepreneurship. So you've started. Is it just the one business at the moment? Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
So
in a previous life, you kind of started up like the music manager type of business role as well.
yeah.
So with all of your experience with starting up different types of businesses, what's some of the key lessons that you've learnt along the way?
Um, I mean, probably the key lesson, and this is definitely a lot of it. I can say you can definitely see my accounting major coming through on here. But the best advice I can give is to just kind of make sure that you talk to people who have that experience and have that knowledge, because even
Mm.
though the information is out there, oftentimes it is a very tricky area to navigate,
You're
particularly
talking about
with
finance,
yeah, yeah.
the
So for
finance side of things. Yeah,
finance
yeah.
and even just setting up. So for me, I registered as a company,
Mm.
and I'm very glad that I have kind of my legal academic history as well as my accounting academic history, because I don't know how I would have navigated this just the registration process by myself. Although it's
Mm.
fairly easy to register, a lot of the decisions you make have certain implications. And it's just very good to, if you know someone who has been through it before, or has experience, has studied, if you know someone who has worked even just as a bookkeeper, like an accountant, anyone that has kind of any experience in the industry, if you yourself don't, to definitely just talk, because a lot of things that you do have certain implications that you might not realize and aren't necessarily displayed when you're going through that process.
Mm.
And so just to make sure that you're kind of learning as much as you can before you go and make that decision. Obviously, that's very technical. Kind of answer the question. The other kind of side of it is just go for it, which I know can be a bit contradicting. But oftentimes, I know I myself, I spent about 6 months contemplating whether to do it or not,
Mm.
which that 6 months I could have spent, developing my MVP product a little bit earlier, but it was just something that I'd started. I was just working on in the sidelines, and then I went, no, this is actually something I'm really enjoying,
Mm.
and it's potentially something useful. I want to go ahead, and I kind of knew that at the very start, and I could have done that 6 months earlier, but I talked myself out of it a bit, and then eventually went, nope, I'm going to do it. And so,
Mm.
best kind of way to sum it up is go for it, do it. Make sure you get a bit of advice before you do it, though,
Mm.
because it can be fairly complex. And yeah, yeah,
Well, interesting. Like your background, right? So the creative type of background, and then bringing on the business. So from an entrepreneurial point of view, those are two of the key skill sets, right? So if you want to make a difference in the world, you got to think of things that people haven't done before, right? And you have to have that creative mindset to create something of value, and then yeah, having the business side of things come through. Which one would you say is more important, creative or business management?
it's very difficult because I kind of see both of those as interconnected. You can't have one without the other.
Mm.
It's creativity. Oftentimes, people think of creativity and they just go to the kind of extreme, in your face versions of creativity, such as like the forms of entertainment that we consume,
Mm.
artwork that we see. But creativity comes right down to every decision we make requires creativity. It's
Mm.
what makes us human. Humanity and what makes humans special is this creative ability for us to view the world through a different lens and then kind of apply that to what we do. Experience creates us and shapes us. Our lives, everything we've done, has made us into the people that we are, which makes us unique, and it also makes our ideas unique. And even in something that's considered a little bit more of a dry, decision making, such as when you're working in a corporate job, if you're working in business management, those decisions, you're still applying creativity, even though it might not seem it. You're not singing your decisions to your employees, but you're still having to utilize your own experiences and what's made you you to make those decisions. And so I feel like there isn't, you can't decide between the two because everything has that creativity and everything has that decision making. It's a bit of both.
Mm. Now, in line with that, a lot of those, if you the creatives or those that have the technical skills, that having to wear that business management hat, as you kind of mentioned before with music, it is difficult, right? It's difficult to get that right. And so having someone like you were as a music manager, having a partner who takes on that other role can be, it's important for those that don't have that skill set. Would you recommend for creatives, which path should they take? I'll stick with the creative and I'll get somebody to help me, or should I become a business? Should I figure out how to do the management, or should I have some knowledge, or like where do you think people should land in general?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of halfway between those two options. It's with kind of everything, and it doesn't just apply to creativity and business management because everyone has different skills, everyone has different things that they're better at, and so it kind of
Mm,
applies to everything. It's I would recommend rounding out your team per se,
mm,
making sure that you're surrounding yourself, whether it's you're running a business and you're partnering with someone, whether it's you're doing a degree and you've got study partners, whether it's you've just your friendship group or people that you just spend your time with outside of work and studying. Having that kind of team that is very well rounded, you've all got different
mm,
skills, you all complement each other well. Because if someone naturally is very good at something that you're not, they're always going to be able to do better than you.
mm,
It's that's just no matter how much you try and learn. If you're naturally not good with numbers, you're going to struggle with the accounting. You might be able to do the accounting work or the
mm,
financial work, but someone who's a bit better at numbers is going to be able to do it, and it's going to be a lot easier and come a lot more naturally to them. So having those people around you is really important for success, but understanding enough of it that you can understand what they're telling you. If you go to
mm,
someone for advice and they say, "Oh, this is what I
mm,
want to do," you might not need to know enough to be able to come up with that decision, but you need to understand why that decision's the correct
mm.
decision because anything you're
Yeah.
doing, you want to know why you're doing it, why you're making that decision. So
So having at
having
least
that foundation,
having at
yeah,
least a
yeah,
base level of understanding of
yeah,
business, of finance, HR, and all that. What's
yeah.
so out of all the hats in the business that you could be wearing, which one are you the most rubbish at? Which one do you definitely need help with?
Oh, I don't know.
Lots of them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as someone who's studying accounting, I've always struggled a bit with math. I'm can get it done, but I'm very, very thankful for Excel. So oftentimes I struggle. I'm better at more of the problem solving side of accounting, and then as soon as it's like actually going through and working out your credits and debits, I'm like, okay, cool, sweet, you know. But I still enjoy it nonetheless. Um, I'm not sure. I feel like a lot of it, which hasn't necessarily come up now, but I feel like I would struggle a bit more with the management side. I haven't had much experience with managing staff.
Mm,
I'll,
yeah.
given that I'm young, a lot of it has just been working with employees, and it's obviously a very different relationship working with someone to managing someone. So I don't know how
Mm.
I'd go. Hopefully well, but yeah, we'll have to see how it goes when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think that out of all the hats that different entrepreneurs wear, I do think that that's probably something that they would struggle with, the HR side of things. Just because, especially our top entrepreneurs, the top technicians, like your Zuckerbergs or your creatives, um, or even the other end, the very business minded, those that, can see an opportunity and know how to run it and run with it. I think when you're at those ends, I just from what I gather, people skills aren't necessarily some of their top skills, let's say. So yeah, I definitely see that human resources side of things and being able to bring on people, bring on the right people, motivate them and all of that can be a difficult part of the skill sets to learn. Now, at the moment, just one last thing, just in regards to this entrepreneurial side of things, you're saying So you've got a programming kind of or a coding type of startup-y thing going at the moment.
Yeah.
So what do you see? What kind of plans do you have for that?
Yeah, definitely. So it's not public release yet.
Mm,
We're almost at the MVP. I keep saying that, and I'm like, oh, almost, and then it's kind of building that consumer-led product, especially first time
mm,
building an actual product fit for consumers.
mm,
There's a lot more of an undertaking than I realized, which is great. I'm loving it, but it's just keep pushing it back a little bit, but hopefully very soon.
mm.
But it's for a bit of context, it's a data analytics program in the sporting industry, just
You
kind of
say
designed
sporting
to,
industry?
yeah.
Oh, I
So
love it.
for the sporting industry, it's my family's very heavily involved in a lot of local organisations around the
Hmm.
area, and my family's very much we love our sports. I'm ex basketball player. I'm too busy to be able to play now, and yeah, but loved basketball growing up and played
Hmm.
very competitively, and so just getting kind of back to that roots and just trying to bring software and program. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing brand new, the
Mm,
technology, but it's giving access to kind of grassroots and local organizations that might not have access to these technologies, and just kind of
mm,
creating technologies to help the sporting industry make it more accessible, particularly for areas that are rural that might not have as much facilities and infrastructure and financial backing to be able to go and help make this accessible. So just trying to use my skills to help just the sporting industry in little ways that I can by giving access to this technology.
oh, I love it. You didn't mention sport before. If you had, we would have spoken for the last half an hour on it. I love
Yeah,
sport.
yeah.
But no, very good.